It's time for Christmas nails. I'm so excited. Welcome back to another video. My friends that love nail art as much as I do. So I filmed these about a week and a half ago. I did one set already that I edited. It is Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving. I'm super excited to show you these. These were a lot of fun to do. They are hand painted for the most part. I did use some stamping just to quicken up the pace a little bit of my work. This stamper that I'm using right now, stamping plate, is an old one. I got it off of Amazon a million years ago when stamping first came out, and it is one of my favorites, though I have learned much better now than in the beginning how to do stamping with these. So we're going to do a couple of things. I wasn't really sure. This is like a play set, so it's a little bit longer. I did speed it up just a tiny bit. It took me about 25 minutes to put this together, though I did speed it up, so the video was only about 15 minutes. So it's not sped up very much from what I was actually doing. But I didn't want you sitting here, watching endless stuff. So I am going to, because it's a play set, adjust what I'm doing a little bit here and there as I go, because I was kind of just messing around, and then I felt like I really loved this set, so I thought I had to edit it and put it up for you. So the first nail is a fir tree, and we're going to do some things with that fir tree in a few minutes. Right now I'm adding a little bird to the top of the fir tree, just using another of these little stamps. So you will find that this is definitely a red and green set. It does, I did do it on a holographic, it's a holographic neutral from Glam, which I just got in, and I love it because it gives a little shimmer and shine, but it's, very kind of oatmeal-y colored. So I feel like it's good for literally any season. But so anyway, so we have a greenery. This set is all going to be kind of greenery and bubbles and birds. That is the theme of this set. And so I put a little cardinal on top of the fir tree, and then eventually we are going to be adding to the whole motif. You'll see there'll be another cardinal in here. Right now I am doing a 2-color stamp. When you do this, you have to be super careful not to run your colors together. So it's a 1-swipe deal. If you do more than 1 swipe, you will most certainly run your colors together, which if you're looking to blend your colors is completely fine. But if you're not looking to blend your colors, then it could be very problematic. So you can see I got a nice clean transfer on the white and a nice clean transfer on the green. Now I went and messed this up, and I will show you how I fixed it because I thought it was important for you to be able to see those things as well. So the words were not as clear as I wanted them to be. They weren't as crisp as I wanted them to be. So I tried to go back and just stamp over, which was a mistake on my part because I ended up with a blur, but I turned that around into a positive. Because, sometimes when you're working at the salon, things happen, and you have to figure out how to fix that without it being a tragedy, right? And starting a whole nail over again. So what I did was I restamped this. You'll see it in a minute. I'm going to stamp it over, and it's going to get blurrier instead of clearer. So what I'm going to do is hand paint over that in black, which turned out beautifully. It worked awesome, but it wasn't in the plans to do. So it is something that I had to go back and do. This is me going, oh boy, nope, that didn't work. So I'm getting out my black paint. I am going to use a really tiny liner brush because these words are incredibly small. I'm going to zoom in so you can kind of see. It doesn't look as good right now. It comes out much better in the end. Not that I did anything to it, but so essentially what I'm doing is using that white as a color block. So I'm using it as a highlight. If you think about signage and things like that where it's color blocked in the back, that's essentially what I did to fix this, is made that into the color block of the back. Then I went over it in black, outlined that square with some black as well, just to tidy it up a little and, make sure that I tied all my colors together. And like I said, at the end, you'll see the picture. It came out beautiful. The camera right now does not do it justice. It looks a little sloppy and messy, and it really isn't when you see the end result. I did not touch up the end result. The end result is exactly what you see me doing here. I didn't do anything else to it. It's funny because when I was putting this video together, I'm like, wow, the way it looks on the video It looks like I actually went back and redid this nail, and I did not. I promise you it is what it is. On this one, I started with the gold and then decided that the gold was too light. So we're going to go in and fill this in. So this is another stamping technique that took me a while to learn, and watching other YouTubers and kind of figuring out how to do this. So I can thank Ms. Joe. If you guys ever watch Ms. Joe, she's awesome. But Ms. Joe is the one that taught me one of these techniques. So what you do is you stamp on, and then you go over it and outline it, and you're going to color it in. So we're going to do all that to make our bauble. And then we're going to go back over the bauble again with the same stamp so that we can get a better coloring. So again, because this is a red and green set, so red, green, gold was kind of the theme for this one. I am going in with my metallic my metallic green. This is a Manilogy paint. The metallics from Manilogy are kind of an obsession for me. They are, haha, my mic just stopped on me. That was nice. So they are kind of an obsession for me is what I was saying. They're so pigmented that they're beautiful. They're beautiful. So if you ever get a chance to, especially they're red and green, I love them for Christmas. So that being said, we painted over that. Now we got to let that dry. So while that's I'm going to take out another plate, and that plate is also ancient. I can't tell you where I got it. I do know it's an old one. It could be, I'm trying to think. It's not a gelish plate. I'm not sure. It has a number on it somewhere. I'll try to look for the number. I don't even know if they make it anymore, but it is a cardinal. So I am going to go in and scrape the cardinal, and we're going to do a quick coloring book stamp with this. So I'm using this as my outline, I think. I don't know what happened there. I went off. I'm going to check. Okay, there we go. So what I'm doing is just touching up. I had a little corner that didn't quite come out. And there's the bird, you can see. I'm going to back color this with the metallic red. It's gorgeous. And I already did, but I put in that green. I think I stopped my filming for a second. Something probably happened at home. And so I put in my green at the bottom where those are holly leaves. And then I'm now back coloring the red, and I'm just going to check this once in a while. You'll notice that I flip it over to check it. That is really important when you're working, like that, so that you can see what the front looks like and to make sure you've covered in all your spots. The worst thing to do is stamp it onto someone's nail and then have to touch it up after the fact, because you're building backwards. So you're building from the outline backwards. So you have to think about it that way. If you try to touch it up once it's on the client's nail, oftentimes you're going to run into covering over or coloring over your outline, and then that loses some of the coloring book effect. So once I'm done with this, I am going to flip it over almost immediately and stamp it right on. You don't have to do that. You could let it dry and then put base coat on and then transfer it to the nail. I didn't want to wait, so I just stamped it right on. Just be careful that your paint is tacky and not wet, because if it's really wet, it'll slide and then it'll smudge, and you'll be very angry, because I have done it and it makes me really angry when I do that. This metallic paint happens to dry extremely fast, so I didn't have to worry too much. Now that I'm done, I'm going to just touch up my holly leaves, and then I'm going to add a few more to the very bottom. Because I felt like the bird looked kind of like he was just floating in space, and I wanted him to look a little more like he was sitting on a branch of a tree. So that is what I did there. I'm going to zoom in just so you can see how I'm making those holly leaves. So holly leaves are pointed, and they have a center point, and then they fan out from there, and they usually have 4 points on the sides, 1 at the top. So I just have parts of that, so I didn't have to do the whole leaf, but you have to be thinking about that. And then I'm just adding the red berries for the holly leaf. I usually add them in 3s because that's more appealing to the eye. And there we go. Now we're going to go back and restamp over that bauble that we started, that I filled in. And then we're going to do a hand-painted poinsettia plant in a minute. So we're almost done this set. It's not a complicated set, but you do have to, if you're going to do this on a client at the salon, you do have to plan it out a little and kind of know where you're headed. You can't, I was just messing around, so it didn't really matter how long I took to do that, but you don't want to do that at the salon because you'll end up, running way over your appointment time, and you're going to be making less money, not more money. And obviously the whole point of this is to get some extra income and show off your fabulousness and not just, waste time. If you're doing this on yourself at home, it definitely would take a little bit of time, but is, obviously clearly worth it. So any of these nails obviously could be used individually as a single nail, as a focal nail, or you can absolutely put them all together like I did and make a whole set out of them. It just depends on how busy your clients like their nails. So with the poinsettia leaves, again, I'm building from back to front. So I'm going to start with the leaves that are going to be behind the poinsettia, and then I'm going to build on top of that to build the poinsettia. I am using white on top of the green. The green is still wet. So what that allows me to do is create highlights and blending all in one step. So instead of painting and then drying and then repainting, I'm doing this all at the same time. I'm adding just a touch more green to the white and just blending it until I'm happy with it. This saves you time, and it also gives, honestly, I feel like a better blend, so it looks more natural and it doesn't look like you just added lines on top of an already painted surface, which tends to not give as nice an end result. Now I am going to put my leaves in. Poinsettias typically have 5 base leaves and then build in layers on top of that. So I'm going to put my 5 base leaves first, and then I'm going to go back and create a new fan on the inside that is slightly smaller. And you'll notice I end up going back in and making these back leaves a little bit wider. I always try to kind of plan out first and kind of map out where I want to be, and then, I might make adjustments as I go. So that's exactly what happened here. Once I get the larger leaves at the back done, which I don't have to worry about too much detail because, again, these are going to be at the back, and they're going to be shadowed because they're underneath those leaves that are in the front. So, or petals. They're not really leaves, right? They're petals. So once I get the petals at the back done, I'm going to put my petals on top with another layer of slightly brighter red. So what you can't see, and I apologize for that, on my palette next to me, I have the white, the black, the green, and the red, and I'm just mixing a little bit here and there on my plate as I go to add the different shades. That gives it a little bit more of a realistic impression when you look at it. And then I'm going to see that I'm adding right here, I'm going to add some lighter tone so that you have a highlighted side and a shadowed side on the petals. Flowers are not actually my favorite thing to do, and they're not probably the thing I do best, I would say. I'm always working at it, but it's not the thing I feel like I do best at. So it's always interesting to me when I'm when I'm painting flowers, because I always think, oh God, that's terrible. And then someone will say, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. And I'm like, really? What are you looking at? I'm not looking at the same thing as you. I clearly am not. I have added a little bit of white at this point. Just to the inner leaves, I've added just a highlight, like just a little bit of highlight. And now I'm going in and adding a white center. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to put gold on top of it and I want it to show up. And that is me putting the gold on right now. So just a little bit of white, and then I daubed in the little golden, sometimes they're yellow, centers. And that is it. That is our set. I am going to top coat these, which I'm not going to do on film for you because that is just utterly boring. We're going to cut that right out of there. And then, oh wait, I'm sorry. I lied. I'm not top coating yet. Oh, I forgot. I lied. So I decided at the last minute that I wanted to add some teeny tiny snowflakes. So this is a jelly stamper plate that I got last Christmas. And it has some beautiful snowflakes, and I actually bought it for the swirls, the candy swirls, peppermint swirls. There we go. My brain will get there. So I decided to add some snow around the edge because, I don't know, I just felt like it needed a little something, and I wasn't necessarily, I know you're going to be shocked, but I wasn't necessarily looking for a whole lot of glitter on this set. Did I say that? Oh, that was almost painful. So I put in snowflakes instead, and I really like the way it came out. I had a moment of, wow, that actually was even better than I expected. So on the tree, I did let the snow come all the way down, almost as if it were in a snow globe. And then I'm putting it around the edge of the cardinal and also around the edge of the bauble. And one of the reasons I did that was just to balance out the look overall. And there you go. That is our nails finished. And I will show you the picture in a moment. Here we go. I really love the way these came out. I hope you love them too. And I will see you for the next video next week. Have a great week.